Japan furious with Mexico. In recent years, Japan has expressed its discontent with Mexico due to the increasing transfer of Japanese car factories to Mexican territory. This situation has caused concern in Japan, as many observe that Mexico is taking over the automotive production that has historically been dominated by the Asian country. The situation is more complex than it seems at first glance and has deep implications for both Japan and Mexico, as well as for the global landscape of the automotive industry. Japanese car factories have started moving to other countries in the last 2 decades, and Mexico has emerged as a key destination. Additionally, Japan is facing a demographic crisis, with an aging population and few young people willing to work in car factories, which are jobs that demand physical effort and long hours. Young Japanese people, highly educated thanks to a quality education system, prefer to look for more comfortable and better-paying jobs outside of the traditional manufacturing industry. Faced with this situation, Japanese car brands began to move their operations to countries where labor costs are lower and where they find skilled labor willing to work in their factories. Among these countries, Mexico stands out, a place that has become the center of car production for America, including the United States, Canada, and Latin America. Mexico has proven to be a reliable partner in terms of efficiency, timeliness, and production costs, which has made it an attractive destination for Japanese automakers. In addition, Mexico's proximity to the United States, its main trading partner, has allowed for a more efficient integration of production. The Mexican automotive industry has grown impressively, even competing directly with U.S. production in terms of capacity and delivery times. Cars manufactured in Mexico with Japanese brands like Toyota, Nissan, Honda, and Mazda are being sold not only in America, but also in Europe. This success has brought with it significant foreign investment and has generated thousands of jobs in the country, which has boosted economic development in various regions of Mexico. However, while Japanese companies enjoy the benefits of production in Mexico, the Japanese government is not happy with this situation. Japan, despite having an advanced education system and modern infrastructure, does not want to see its car factories move to other countries, especially to Mexico, which is consolidating itself as a major competitor. Japan has tried to encourage automotive companies to return by offering facilities such as subsidies, tax cuts, and lower tariffs to encourage investment in Japan. However, Japanese companies are reluctant to return to their country of origin. The reason for this resistance is simple. Japan does not have enough young workers to meet the demands of the global automotive industry. Furthermore, production costs in Japan are significantly higher than in Mexico, which has lower labor costs and a currency, the Mexican peso, which is much cheaper than the Japanese yen, the US dollar, or the euro. This makes Mexico a more attractive option for companies not only in terms of labor costs, but also because of the efficiency in production and the quality of the available workforce. In addition to the advantage of labor costs, Mexico's proximity to the United States, one of the world's largest automobile markets, is also a key factor in the decision of Japanese companies. Mexico is in a strategic position with access to both the U.S. market and Latin American markets, which makes it a key distribution point for automotive companies. On the other hand, production in Japan faces logistical challenges, such as the difficulty of accessing Asian markets in Europe as efficiently as Mexico does, especially in a context where transportation costs and customs tariffs are increasingly high. Although Japan offers incentives to companies to return, such as the construction of ports, airports, and other infrastructure necessary for mass production, Japanese car brands argue that it is not feasible to return due to the lack of sufficient manpower and the high operating costs in Japan. The situation has generated great concern in Japan, which has begun to implement measures to try to stop the departure of factories. Some of these measures include the creation of higher tariffs for exports of Japanese capital to other countries and restrictions on Japanese investments outside the country. Japan is also evaluating other ways to limit the departure of car factories to other countries, especially Mexico, as it believes that this could negatively affect its economy and its automotive industry. Global concern about this situation is also increasing, as other countries, especially those in the First World, have begun to see Mexico as a threat to their own automotive industry. If Mexico continues to consolidate itself as the main car manufacturing center, it could replace countries like Japan and the United States in terms of vehicle production and distribution worldwide. In short, Japan is concerned about the relocation of its car factories to Mexico, a phenomenon that responds to a series of economic, demographic, and logistical factors. Although Japanese companies continue to benefit from the advantages offered by Mexico, the Japanese government is taking steps to prevent automotive production from continuing to move to other countries. Global competition in the automotive industry is in full swing, and Mexico, with its combination of low costs, skilled labor, and strategic access to markets, seems to be in a privileged position to continue growing as one of the largest vehicle producers in the world. We will explore the fascinating geopolitical relationship between Japan and Mexico, a dynamic full of cooperation and competition. Both countries have joined forces in various areas, from trade agreements to technology collaborations. This alliance has boosted investment by Japanese companies in Mexico, generating employment and economic growth in both nations. However, the trend of moving the automotive industry to Mexico has generated some tensions. Japan, a historical leader in this sector, observes with concern how its dominance is affected. For its part, Mexico is becoming a strategic ally for Japan in Latin America, opening doors to key markets and diversifying supply chains. Globally, this relationship is of great relevance. Japan seeks to maintain its competitiveness in the face of demographic and logistical challenges, while Mexico seizes the opportunity to strengthen its automotive industry. Diplomacy and constant dialogue will be key to resolving tensions and maximizing the benefits for both. In short, the geopolitical relationship between Japan and Mexico is complex, but also full of possibilities. By overcoming challenges and taking advantage of opportunities, both countries have the potential to forge an exemplary model of cooperation for other nations in this globalized era.